Hi, it's Andy. I'm here with David Cox. David is an elementary school teacher. He's been an elementary school teacher for 14 years, and he's going to walk us through what it takes to be an elementary school teacher, how tough it is, the ups and downs, and we're starting right now.
So the career of an elementary school teacher is in many ways very unique. You're never going to have 2 days that are exactly the same. You're never going to work with the same group of kids over an extended period of time. You usually get them for a year. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you get them for 2. So it can be really challenging, but really exciting and engaging, and it's a lot of fun. It truly is. You can make connections, you can inspire, you can do all these things that a lot of jobs don't offer. And so what we get is a unique opportunity to bond and connect and inspire children. You will typically get students starting in either TK or kindergarten, which is roughly 5 years old. And then depending on your district, they will leave us at either 5th grade, which is roughly 11, or 6th grade, which is 12 years old. We get them in a very critical time in life. A lot of the foundational skills that set kids up for all the future success and all the more challenging stuff that they hit in older grades, like high school and middle school and even college. A lot of those skills are built and started in this and then just developed and really honed as they get older. The first thing is, the obvious one. I work with kids, right? But there's so much that goes into that. So when you try to give them more information, you're looking at things like, I bond with kids, I inspire kids, I get kids to do things that they don't want to do, and I get kids to learn things that they don't think they're capable of learning at times. And so I work with them and I build up their confidence and I design lessons so that they can be successful while also being challenged and pushed in different ways. The greatest things about my job, I kind of call them the light bulb moments, and it's when you are working with a kid that all of a sudden they've been working really hard and they get it. And it's just that moment of, you can literally see that half the time their eyes like triple in size and they sit up really proud because that moment is like, I got it, and they've been working at it, and it can be so hard to get them there. And I'd say the other piece of it is, of course, the bonds and connections that you get to make with these students, knowing that hopefully you're having a very positive impact on the rest of their lives. So the kind of things that will make you good at this career are, of course, you gotta like working with kids. Now you need a lot more than just I like working with kids to be a really good teacher, but that's gotta be one of your things that you have. If you don't like working with kids, please don't become a teacher. But in addition, you gotta be pretty organized. You have to be willing to really put in the time and the effort. So hardworking is vital. If you are not a hard worker, again, there is so much that goes on behind the scenes that as a student, you don't know that your teachers are doing, that comes out, and you end up having to do a ton of behind the scenes stuff. And that requires, again, that organization. You gotta have passion. You gotta care about what you do. You gotta care about the kids. So you gotta care about their learning and everything else. But those are kind of things that if you're not bringing those to the table, as a veteran teacher, I can help you become a better teacher of math or teacher of reading or whatever it might be, but I can't teach passion, I can't teach hard work, and I can't teach organization. Those are all things that you've got to come with, because if you have those pieces, and of course you like to work with kids, you can become amazing at this job. So the types of personality that wouldn't be good at this career would be somebody who's not very flexible. You're never gonna have 2 days that are the exact same. You're going to plan out absolutely perfect lesson plans and perfect schedules for the day, and it's gonna not work at all. It's gonna blow up right in your face because the kids aren't getting it, or hey, we're gonna have an assembly that day, and you've gotta be able to just roll with it and make do. Again, also somebody who isn't able to get organized, stay focused, or you also have to be able to talk in front of a crowd. It's easier to talk in front of kids, I promise, than adults, but you have to be willing and able to do that. If you're not comfortable doing that, this is gonna be a really hard career for you. So the education that's required to be an elementary school teacher is going to start with a 4-year bachelor's degree. Most teachers get a liberal studies degree, which basically teaches you a little bit about math, a little bit about reading, a little bit about social studies, science, etc. You could also get like a child development degree, which is more focused on, brain development and physical development of kids, and what they're capable of learning at different times in their career or in their age groups. Once you've gotten that degree, you're going to go on for one more year, and you're going to get a credential program. And during that program is when you probably heard of them, student teachers, things like that. Most credential programs, though, are a mix of classes and then working in a classroom. So you'll usually, depending on what program you're in, you might have 6 weeks of classes and 8 weeks in a school, or vice versa. Sometimes they mix it up and you're both on site and doing classes in the evenings. The credential program is usually pretty challenging, and it does take a lot of time. It's really hard to have a job during that time. But you are getting your foot in the door, and ideally, hopefully, you get a job at one of those school sites. Most teachers do go on to get a master's degree as well. So the income range for being an elementary school teacher does vary greatly based on where you're located. Depending on what state you're in, it can be completely different. In California, where I'm at, typically a starting teacher is going to make somewhere between $40,000 and $50,000, depending on your educational background. Most districts have, if you have a certain number of units postgraduate, they give you a bonus. If you have a master's degree, they give you a bonus. Most districts, it's somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for that master's degree. But if you have extra units, if you have 45 units, you also get more money. If you have 60 units, you also get more money. So again, starting somewhere between 40 and 50, depending on how far you go, as many years that you're in there, and if you are maxed out on the number of units, you have a master's degree, and you're at, let's say, 25 to 30 years, you can probably be making about 140 to 150 where I'm at. Some advice I would give young people who are thinking about becoming an elementary school teacher is, if you get the opportunity, go work with some kids. You don't have to work in a classroom. You don't have to work in an after-school care. You can volunteer if you have younger siblings, help out their sports teams, help out with Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, things like that. But get out there and actually work with kids. Beyond that, of course, if you get an opportunity to work in like a tutoring center or something like that, it's great because you're going to get experiences of working with kids who maybe don't want to be there in those situations, and how you handle it can make a big difference. Don't walk into a classroom and have it be the first time you've ever worked with kids. That's going to be really, really hard for you because it's different than most people think. Again, it's highly rewarding, but it can be really challenging if you've only done that.